am not a huge fan of so-called animal rights activists because they tend to push their views on people in a very harmful way to not just people. Actually, rarely the harm happens to people. More often than not, the harm that they are doing is happening to the animals that they are pretending to protect. And I mean pretending. I've spoken about how PETA shelters have a far higher kill rate than any other shelter in the world, and how they have actually snuck onto farms and other people's properties who use their animals for performance, and the animals were healthy and happy and had plenty of room to do whatever. And they weren't being misused or mistreated, but PETA decided to fucking poison them and kill them and stuff. And then you have just general animal rights activists, maybe not PETA, who just, do all this stuff. Like, they complain about people who own pets, even, and all this other bullshit. And I just saw this thing that's taken it to a whole other level. They want to genetically engineer carnivores to no longer need to eat meat to survive, and thus removing predators from our ecosystem. Can you just say bad idea? Like, holy fuck, is that like not the worst idea in the entire fuck now? What the hell are you thinking of trying to support that? Like, in its tagline, it's "With prey didn't have to suffer." Well, bitch, they'll be fucking suffering a hell of a lot more if predators are gone. And people are like, well, what do you mean? I mean, predators kill the animal. Wouldn't they be happier without the predators? No, because here's what happens. If predators exist for a fucking reason, it's population control. Because the thing is that prey animals, due to predators, they reproduce like fucking crazy. So if you eliminate the predator, then they're just gonna fucking reproduce like fucking nuts, and then you're gonna have a huge population on your hands, much larger than the resources are able to supply for. So what you get, instead of having a healthy, smaller population, you get a giant, unhealthy population, because there's nothing to support. They've eaten all the food, so they're starting to die of starvation and malnourishment, and then, since it's so overcrowded, their dead bodies that aren't getting eaten by those carnivores, if you're going to do that, they're just festering and rotting, which lead to disease. So you end up, instead of having a small, healthy population where nothing is wasted, you end up with deer who are dying of starvation, or not deer, sorry, just the example that this person put on the Tumblr post. You get these animals in other experiments that have been done with deers. Anyway, so you get these animals who are dying of starvation and disease. I'm sorry, but a quick snap of the neck to be used for food purposes, I think, is a much better way to die than slowly and painfully from starvation or disease. So basically, and also they found that, areas or environments that did not have any predators that were unhealthy, like everyone in that environment was less healthy, and then when they introduced predators, every single part of the ecosystem got healthier, because predators are necessary, which is why they exist in the first place. Now, the example I'm talking about, the biggest example of this, and the most successful example of this, is Yellowstone Park. There wasn't really a main predator source other than humans who weren't really organized with it, and they weren't killing enough anyways, and they weren't killing it in the right places. When they reintroduced wolves to the area, first of all, they started off doing their normal thing, like, they kill some deer, or they kill some other small prey like that. But the thing is that they were staying in one area, and they were driving the deer out from the main marshlands into the forest more, and there was less deer overpopulating and eating all the vegetation, so the vegetation began to be able to grow. And then all the other plants started growing. You get more herbivores coming in who aren't just getting trampled or, pushed aside by the giant deer. And then it's reconstructing the ground itself. It's irrigating the earth, with the tunnels and whatnot, so that vegetation's growing even more. And then you're getting beavers, and they're making dams, and they're changing the river. And it's from this little crappy stream, it's turning into a great big beautiful river. And the entire population of every single, plants, animals, insects, you name it, are all flourishing because they introduced wolves, the predator, Like, it's extremely necessary for the survival of everything works in harmony perfectly. When humans interfere and try to take something out, that, especially something as important as predators, it just fucks up the whole system and nothing works anymore. They have, like, I know you don't want any animals to die, but I'm sorry, but welcome to the circle of life. You have the plants grow, the animals eat the plants, and then the carnivores eat the animals, kill and eat the animals, and the animals die and rot and feed the plants. That's how the whole thing works, and it works perfectly the way it is. If you start fucking with that system, then you're just gonna fuck over the entire fucking everything. So, oh my god. Yes, it sucks. People, animals, whatever. Yes, everyone dies, okay? We're all mortal. It happens. And sometimes it'll happen sooner than others. It's just the way things work. It's not a broken system because they die. And the thing is that too, is that I think they don't realize is that predators, the prey to predators, they leave a happy, healthy, good on ya life. And they don't, compared to, I guess, I understand people opposing modern farming practices because the animals get treated like crap in a lot of places. But hunting, I don't disagree with, unless it's hunting for sport instead of food, and you don't use the animal for food at all. That's kind of like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, and then with the predators, the animal gets to live a happy life. They get to do whatever the hell they want until they end up getting picked off from the herd. Another thing too is that the predators keep the herd healthy because they pick off the weak and the sick. So evolution is allowed to happen. Traits to make the species better as a whole end up flourishing because the ones who survive to reproduce are the ones with the better traits, genetic traits, as well as if you kill the animal that's starting to get sick because they're weak, they're falling behind, the predator can catch them and eat them, then that one prevents the disease from spreading within the herd because that ill animal has been removed from the group, but it keeps it so that the animal just dies really quickly instead of really long and slow and painful from the disease. So there's all sorts of benefits like that and whatever else. So yeah, everything it works and all this other stuff. So thanks for listening, watching, whatever. Oh yeah, sorry, I was talking about the farming practice. I forgot to finish that thought. Right, so they're living a happy life and everything works well. And I forgot what I was going to say added to that. I guess the farming practices, yeah. But opposing an animal, because the animals, unlike humans, don't treat other animals like crap unless it's for territory or food. It's self-defense, territory, or food. Those are the three reasons why an animal would hurt another animal, other than some primates and humans. Literally, there are examples of cheetahs and other animals of prey playing with prey animals or hanging out with prey animals when they're not hungry. Because if they're not hungry, they have no reason to harm the animal. They have no reason to expend that energy to harm the animal, because basically the only reason why they harm other animals is because their digestive tracts are designed for meat. And so the only way to get that meat is to kill an animal. And whatever, and there's nothing wrong with it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.